you, the first frame, Chris Wakelin to break.
I thought Chris Wakelin had a slight look of disbelief on his face as he walked into that remarkable welcome from this crowd. But he has to settle early. It's into the lion's den here, isn't it? On the Masters debut. Luca Brecel's record in this tournament is not good. It's his 5th appearance. He's only ever won 1 match, but of course, prior to winning the World Championship, he'd never won a match at the Crucible. It doesn't seem to make any difference with him. It's whether he can find some inspiration on the night. He's not had a great season. Last couple of tournaments have been better. Quarterfinals in Scotland, runner-up in the invitation event in Riyadh. It's been a high-quality first round. They're all big hitters, aren't they, already through to the quarterfinals. One more place to be found. The winner, of course, plays Karen Wilson. Thought Chris looked pretty calm backstage. We saw a few shots of him just in the players' lounge. But now it's down to business. We were at the Championship League, Dominic. He had a good few days practice there, didn't he? You know, that may put him in good stead, but it's about settling into this environment.
Yes, he certainly had some match practice, that's for sure, but of course a completely different environment here, playing in front of over 2,000 spectators here at the Alexandra Palace. Oh, there's this cue ball going. It's in the pocket, I'm afraid.
Chris Wakelin, 4.
At least he hasn't left anything simple for Chris Wakelin. I'm looking forward to seeing how Luca performs here because, of course, he's had a fairly quiet time since lifting World Championships a couple of years ago now. But he's lost a lot of weight. He put on a lot of weight up until several months ago. He's lost it all. He's a lot fitter now. I'm sure he's mentally in a much better place. And I think when January comes along, this is when the players begin to keep half an eye on the World Championships, which of course begins in the middle of April. I was just wondering how Chris Wakelin would be feeling ahead of his first appearance here at the Masters. That's always a good sign. Just unlucky that that black travelled a little further than he'd liked it to. Does it still cut in?
Well, I was talking to him last week, and of course, as has been mentioned, his partner's given birth 8 weeks early, so the baby is in hospital. It's obviously been a worrying time, although I believe she will be coming out soon. But he was saying, you know, the snooker's the easy bit. Everything else he's had to think about.
Chris Wakelin, 8.
So it doesn't feel quite the same playing at the moment. That wasn't one of his best, though. He can't afford to leave Brecel starters. We know what an inspirational character he is. He's a unique character, really, Luca, I think. You know, he does things his own way, but he's got a proven track record of success.
Well, that was a really good sign for me. That was struck beautifully, timed beautifully. And when I see a player strike a ball like that, I always feel they're in good shape with the game. And I think Luca needs to start this match well, just to try to make Chris, the debutant, feel a little more uncomfortable. Oh, has he gone far enough for the red?
Seven.
Well, I'm not so sure he's on this red to the right corner. Must be very tight.
Yeah, he looks well, doesn't he? And spoken well also. I remember last year Rachel interviewed him before his match and asked if he was looking forward to it, and he said no. And I think it was just an accumulation of the pressure of being world champion. All eyes on him, scrutiny on him, every match he played. The World Championship, there's two sides to it. One is becoming world champion, and the second is being world champion. Becoming world champion was an all-time high. Being world champion, he didn't seem to enjoy that much.
16.
Whereas Karen Wilson clearly is enjoying it. Meanwhile, that didn't quite work out to plan.
Yellow ball. Luca, Brecel. 16.
Well, there's a chance that Chris may attempt this red to the right corner, can screw the cue ball back towards the bulk colours for a degree of safety. Lots of players would have attempted that, but that's an attacking safety from Chris Wakelin, trying to get the cue ball in behind the yellow. Well, it may not be a snooker, but it's a very good safety. The expression on Luca's face was a picture there. He has a problem here because he can't just drop onto the two reds near the left corner, because there would be a potable one available into the right centre. Could potentially try to make a plant of those two reds, but he'd have to be very careful trying to get the cue ball back to bulk.
Well, the rewards are there if he can pot the initial red and land nicely on a colour. The other red's now in the open. Chris Wakelin, the 97th player to compete at the Masters in 50 years of this tournament. It's not that many, really. Obviously, many years have been returning players. There are two debutants here this year. Sijal Wee was rather heavily beaten last night by Mark Allen, 6-2.
Six. Seven.
The black will go into the right corner, but Chris wouldn't be able to play from it because of the position of the other reds. So it's handy having this pink back up the table on its spot. Big ask to try and win the frame from this visit, but he could certainly establish a useful lead.
Fourteen.
Well, I'd be playing for one of the two reds here above the one that's near the corner pocket, because if you don't land on one of those awkward reds, you still have that other red.
$20. 21. $27.
This time he is out of position a little bit. Cue ball will be running towards the black and reds here, so needs to control the cue ball well.
Foul. First Wakelin,
Well, tried to bring
27.
balls into play, and he's a bit unlucky, obviously, to going off. And that's a beautiful shot. It's a good sign if they're going in. It's still a top table, but it's already some hopeful signs for Brecel fans, I think. A couple he potted from distance.
Yeah, he's timing the ball well, I can already tell that.
7.
He's played a couple of positional shots that haven't gone his way.
Luca, Brecel, 7.
Not much to go on in previous meetings. It's 2-1 to Brecel for the record, but all of those would be before Wakelin really broke through as a top player. Most recent meeting was 5 years ago.
I think Luca can take this red on. The cue ball shouldn't run into anything else, but you just maybe need to be a little bit careful of that centre pocket, the right-hand one. Can't do much with the cue ball, it's too close to the baulk cushion.
Foul. Anonymous. Chris Wakelin, 4.
Well, Chris may well take on this red, the one that Luca's just tried to cannon into there. I'm not sure Luca could have got enough side spin on the cue ball to have glanced off that red.
One.
Good shot choice there. He'd have missed the cannon on the right-hand side. He'd have still had the red near the left corner.
Sorry.
But this isn't straightforward. It's quite a thin cut back, this red.
Chris Wakelin 4.
Chance for Luca to bring a red into play here. He'll probably end up double kissing the red that's below the one he's about to take on. He's going to have to judge that cannon well.
One.
Well, the applause told you he was on the red, even though he didn't see it.
7.
Is this going to reach? Is it going to reach? Oh, it reached.
14.
4 marks to the table fitter, so that black kept a perfect line.
It's a good point. That's a good pot, by the way, as well. But we've not heard a single thing about conditions this year, which tells you they're good. You normally only hear about them if people have got complaints. So that brown on the baulk cushion looks the key ball now.
22. .4.
Well, now the work begins. 4 points the lead. Green, brown and blue needed, but how does he get from brown to blue and pot the brown? Down these baulk cushions.
0.7.
The pockets are very tight. Well, there's no way that Luca will be attempting to get onto the blue now. I mean, even his brown is very missable. Well, I mean, that's a shot that a lot of players are capable of. And by the way, he's just had a lightning fast bounce off that side cushion. But I can only think of a couple of players that have the audacity to attempt that. That's absolutely amazing.
Blue is frame ball.
36.
Luca Brecel in a good mood this year, and that's maybe bad news for everyone else. He wasn't in a great place, I think, 12 months ago, coming to the Masters. Pink's still got a chance. Either way, 16 in front, 13 on.
Luca Brecel.
Great
36.
brown, wasn't it? What a strike that was.
Yeah, and had to play it with backspin. And right-hand side as well, reverse side. I mean, a lot of players are capable of shots like that, but it's just hardly anybody would risk it.
Doesn't want to push this black safe. Just nudged it. So far, we've had 7 winners, of course. 6 have been former Masters winners. The other is the world champion, Karen Wilson. So if Brecel were to win tonight, there'd be another world champ in the mix for the quarters. One of the best ever lineups, you've got to say. just kind of fancied to pop that, didn't you, after the earlier brown? He's looking good tonight so far, Brecel. And he's won the opening frame.
Frame.
It was a rather scrappy affair, but it goes to the Belgian. Sixth the target for a place in the quarters here at the Masters. Mark Allen and Mark Selby.
The second frame, Luca Brecel to break.
Judd Trump Ding Junhui confirmed for Friday afternoon. Karen Wilson on Friday night waiting for the winner of this one.
That's a super safety shot from Luca Brecel. I just wonder what Chris Wakelin made of that previous frame, the shots that Luca was knocking in. But more to the point, the shots that Luca's willing to take on and knock in. I mean, the brown especially. Now, he's caught that all wrong, and there is a potable red for Luca here into the left corner. But he'd have to screw right through the reds to have any chance of being on a colour. Is it worth the risk? Highly improbable gap that Chris was trying to find there with the cue ball, and there is a red on into the right centre for Luca. Take the cue ball up towards the blue and the bolt colours. That's another great pot, you know, at that speed with the rest. They rarely go in.
He's confident, isn't he, tonight? Taking his shots on, he's getting plenty.
6. 7.
It's a dreadful table, though. All these reds around the black spot area, the black surrounded by them. Pink won't pot anywhere. Slightly heavy contact, but he's just about on a red. In potting it, he can cannon the red away from the pink. I just don't know if Luca can reach this, that's the thing. If he has to play it with the rest, it's a different proposition.
Luca, Brecel, 11.
Yeah, it always looked wide, that.
One.
Oh, that's perfect. Luca has a chance here to play into the reds and the black. He's got to play that, surely. Well, he may be on the red to the left corner. He can do something with the cue ball if he is on it. Problem is, if he isn't, I can't see anything else that's easily potable, and he isn't on it. He'd have to play a delicate swerve. I don't think he can pot it without that.
Luca, Brecel, 6.
Well, he's not turning much down, and that in itself makes him dangerous, but I think equally not getting them all.
One.
Well, I think that's finished okay for Chris. Or has it? I thought the top red of those two together, it certainly looks as though it may pot there, but in actual fact, I don't think it will. You can see the black is available if you were to finish low enough on it. Yes, very cleverly played. Having already realised that the two reds together just behind the black there are not available, it was worth having a go at that.
Just under 2 years ago it was that he won that shootout title.
14.
And, of course, made the highest break of the tournament in the final, only 10-minute matches, so he won it in style. It gave him so much confidence just winning a title. Obviously, it's a different form of snooker, but he got a big check out of it and rankings boost, and he's kept on. He got to the Northern Ireland final last season, International Championship this season. He's gone deep in several other events as well. Thoroughly deserves his place in the top 16. First two frames have been similar in as much as balls have been awkward and it's not straightforward.
One.
I think Chris is a long way short of the right side of the blue, so getting in and out of bulk's easier when you're a long way short of pace. But he's certainly left himself a little bit of a tester here.
36.
Difficult to know whether the red closest to the pocket there is potable. Probably is.
Seven.
Just came off the cushion a little quicker than Chris expected. It's a lot thinner, this red, than it needed to be.
$45.
Gone about this very nicely, hasn't he? You know, he's just sort of, it's like putting the pieces of a jigsaw puzzle together. He's Very steadily got the balls into the open.
53.
So 2 more pots, and it should be 1 each. Luca Brecel has played the eye-catching snooker so far, but Chris Wakelin has done
60.
the business here. He's gone about it very nicely, I think. And this will settle him down. First frame won at the Masters. He's already made more centuries this season than he did the whole of last 19. He was 17 last season.
Yeah, incredibly, Luca's just made 4 centuries this season.
Well, the black stays out, so he hasn't made one here, but
That's Wakelin. 69.
surely the frame is here. A good 69 break from Chris Wakelin to set himself into the match. He's annoyed there, he didn't make the ton, but he'll be happy enough to win the frame. It's 1 each.
The second he struck the cue ball, he knew that had gone wrong. At least he can smile about it.
One. Eight. Nine. Sixteen. Seventeen.
Can play for red into the right corner here. Has an angle to go into them, but they're a dreadful pack of reds to go into from the black. Wouldn't be advisable.
24. 25.
A little unlucky. The problem is with that shot, the harder you play it, you have almost like a shunting effect. The cue ball being played at pace into a stationary ball, it just kicks back a little bit and alters the angle significantly as it did there.
Great recovery pot though, and he's still on blacks.
No good those reds to go into from the black. It's finished, in all honesty, as well as I think it could have done, because he still has a pot or two to attempt. But certainly far from easy, and there's pressure on this.
Chris Wakelin, 40.
A little grin, stroke grimace. We've only ever had 5 maximums at the Masters. Of course, 2 were last year. I've seen the replay. Slightly more grimace than grin, actually.
1.
Is it worth getting that blue back onto its spot? I'm sure it passes the yellow.
5. Six.
Things aren't quite working out for Luca
10.
positionally. That's gone wrong as well, but I have to say, I didn't think he needed to go into them at all there. He'd still attempt this red in bulk, but severely hampered by the pink. Got a sneaking suspicion Luca's going to try a plant here. Oh dear, dear. Speculative to say the least, but positioned the cue ball cleverly, but I think he's still left this red on.
10.
Well, no one could accuse him of being defensive this evening. He's obviously full of confidence going for his shots. The problem is he hasn't got enough of them yet.
One.
Well, this pink will cut into the centre, but goodness, it's a very thin cut.
Yeah, so now this is a serious chance with the lead he's already got in the frame. This open game Brecel's playing, if they're not going in, he's going to be leaving chances. We've seen, though, what happens when they do go in. I mean, we remember many of the matches at the Crucible when he won
7.
the World Championship, the way he was just blasting players off the table.
Chris Wakelin, 7.
He's played a soft stun there and just played it with too much pace.
1. Eight. Nine. Sixteen. Seventeen.
I think Luca expected the cue ball to rebound a little quicker off that side cushion. It's just left him with a bit of an awkward angle here.
We've seen the sort of Hollywood snooker from him tonight, but this is more about taking care now. It's a chance I suspect he wouldn't have thought he would get when he saw
23.
Wakelin pot that pink to the middle, with the balls lying nicely.
Twenty-four.
Well, he could try to bring that awkward red into play here because of the two near the pink. He might well be on one of those anyway, because he's still behind in this frame.
31. Thirty-two. $39. $40.
Well, he's had a few opportunities, Luca, to bring that awkward red into play. And now it's in the middle of nowhere a little bit now, and he's got to come all the way back down towards it. Well, nowhere near
44.
cannoning it out. So he's got to just focus now and play a good safety.
Luca Brecel, 44.
Well, the red would cut in, but it's thin. But Chris could play a killer safety here. Bring the red ball back down towards the black spot end. Play the cue ball with top and left-hand side. Get that cue ball in behind yellow and blue. But it is cuttable. Onto that cue ball, another 6 or
Four.
8 inches over towards the side cushion to be able to get a really good snooker in behind the blue. Can still do it anyway.
For Brecel, 4.
Oh, that's a bit of a mistake because I don't think that cue ball's tight in behind the blue. I'd be trying to pop this yellow off 2 cushions. Right-hand side cushion. Playing it with left-hand side. Take the cue ball just underneath the black and hopefully to pop the yellow. A little bit like this. Fancy the green though. Victim of his own skill there, Chris. Look where the cue ball is now.
That green is every bit as good, if not better, than the yellow. Cueing from the jaws of the middle pocket.
This is a very impressive debut from Chris. He's looking as good as he always does, looking as comfortable rather as he always does in any event, but he's just finished awkwardly on this blue. It's not the right angle. If he wants to get nicely on the pink, he's going to have to play this with topspin and right-hand side and go around the jaws of the yellow pocket. But can he generate enough pace?
Well, there's the answer, and we saw this afternoon how crucial close frames can be. Kyron Wilson massively outpointed by Zhang Anda, but won a succession of close ones to win the match. So, Brecel needs pink and black, Wakelin needs pink to win a dramatic third frame.
That was such a bold shot choice to attempt that. Could have left this much easier for Chris Wakelin, but if the pink passes the black, it's easier than it would be into the yellow pocket, and that's very tight, so maybe it's a yellow pocket.
Well, he played it with safety in mind, screwing the cue ball back to the cushion. Dramatic stuff already. It's only frame 3.
Well, given that Luca attempted a pink at least as difficult as this previously, I suppose he's going to take this on. And he's got it. He needs another good pot on the black.
6.
Yeah. Well, we see the pink again, but if we can knock the black in, it'll be the shot of the night. Because of what it means. Oh, what about that? The Belgian bullet finds his target in style to win a thrilling frame and lead Chris Wakelin 2-1.
Luca Brecel to break.
A hush descends, but you can't blame the audience for getting excited about the way that third frame ended.
Just think losing that frame would knock anybody down a peg or two. Chris would be disappointed not to have gone on to win that frame. Oh, but that's a good pot. He would have expected to make that, but having lost that last frame the way he did, maybe he's just lost a touch of confidence just for now.
Eight.
Well,
Chris Wakelin, 8.
he didn't finish nicely on the red, and because he missed it on the thin side, he probably cannoned that red that he didn't intend to cannon and knocked it over the pocket. Choice of, well, potentially 3 reds here for Luca. But, you know, Chris has got to bear in mind that if this match goes close, he's more used to dealing with the pressure situations in close and tight matches than perhaps Luca is of late. So maybe under pressure, when the match gets tight, if it gets tight, then maybe Chris
1.
could be a marginal favourite in a situation like that.
I think as well that you sometimes see if a player's really attacking as Luca is, it does affect the opponent and they suddenly think, well, I've got to go for mine. Cue ball is in.
Luca Brecel, 1. Chris Wakelin, 7.
Luca's pot success just 82, I beg your pardon, 84%. Chris Wakelin's is 82, but you know, Luca's one of those players, if he can achieve 89, 90% with his pot success, that's good for him because of the shots that he takes on.
Oh, another superbly controlled shot. He actually tapped the table, didn't he? In appreciation of Wakelin's shot, but the red came back across towards the pocket. It was still a terrific pot, though. It's good to see Brecel playing well again. You know, he didn't have a great year last year, didn't have a great start to this season. The worst signs
8.
pre-Christmas that the form was returning. He has put work in and clearly just enjoying it a bit more now,
9.
which is great because a lot of people enjoy watching him play.
I wonder what sort of positional
16.
shot Luke will play here. He has the angle on the red to disturb quite a few of them. Yeah, I thought he'd play that well.
7.
He's waited for the applause. It's a very good shot. Not many players can play that. Luke is a very fluent cueist, can get a terrific amount of topspin on the ball. You also need quite a small tip diameter as well to get the degree of topspin required to just push right through those reds the way he did with terrific force.
This black, though, a big shot because now he's opened the reds. So this could unlock the whole frame, this next shot.
.4.
Oh, he's been a bit unlucky there, Luca. These cushions, you know, are playing very quickly. Clock's been on a few days now. Almost halfway through the event.
.5.
Well, don't go anywhere with that rest. It's 2 he's nailed with it. Can he make it a third here? Just trying to get nicely in position. It's another tester. Oh, well done.
.32. .33.
Thing that I do like about Luca this evening, I know he is timing the ball beautifully, I noticed that straight away, but I like the way he's walking around the table. He's very measured and very controlled.
.38. .39.
One result that may have gone unnoticed, the World Open qualifying just before Christmas, literally a few days beforehand in Sheffield. He beat Ulian Boyko 5-3, so he'll be in Yushan later in the season. That's a big money event, so the fact he's guaranteed points there, I think all this business of falling off tour is now very unlikely to happen. At one stage earlier in the season, you know, it didn't look at all impossible.
47.
Maybe just in the last couple of weeks has turned the corner. Runner-up in Riyadh, that was, of course, an elite field there. Beat Karen Wilson, beat Mark Williams. He's been attacking, but he's not running around the table, is he? Like a maniac. He's actually taking time over these shots, trying to just keep in control. Chris Wakelin, I'm sure, still thinking about that last frame.
55.
Just didn't come up the table as far as he'd like for this black. And it rarely happens actually when you play with the extension on your cue. It creates a completely different strike.
$62. 63.
So he seems to have done the hard yards here. 2 more pots and he's over the line mathematically. Wakelin was in early in this frame and of course had the chance to win the last one. Didn't get on the pink. But he's up against someone fancying the job tonight. Luca Brecel maybe went AWOL a little bit on tour. It looks like he's back and meaning business.
Certainly just seems to have slowed his rhythm down slightly.
75.
Certainly does look much more in control of his game now.
76.
Well, we've had 10 centuries in the tournament. One, at least one in every match so far.
$83. There is a light on your camera. 84.
Luca's made 220 career centuries, exactly 100 actually more than Chris Wakelin has.
89.
Been a professional 2 years longer than Chris Wakelin.
Just didn't land on that one nicely. Is it in though? Get in! Oh well. 89. It's been entertaining stuff, hasn't it, so far? Frame 3 was in the balance very much. It went to Brecel with a brilliant pink and black, and he's made the highest break of the night in frame 4. So it is the Belgian who holds the advantage at the interval, leading Chris Wakelin 3-1.
Chris Wakelin to break.
So Chris Wakelin breaking off in frame 5. He's lost 2 close frames, the first and the third. He could easily have been in front himself here, but he's trailing Luca Brecel 3-1. Brecel has looked confident. He's gone for his shots. He made a nice 89 in the 4th frame. Some of the best snooker we've seen from him in recent times. He needs 3 more to set up a meeting with the man who succeeded him as world champion, Karen Wilson.
Oh, that's a great safety from Luca. He's brought a lot of reds into play, got an excellent cue ball. And because he's split the reds up the way he has, that puts a lot more pressure on your return safety. Chris just deciding to rest upon this red near the left corner. Well, the red next to the pink is on. There'll be pressure on it because of the red to the right of the blue, which Luca would probably leave on if he doesn't pot this, but I wouldn't want to leave Luca pots like this, thank you. Luca's 29 years old now. It's amazing, really,
Five.
because he seems to have been around for an eternity. I first played Luca, I think, when he was about 14. But he's still very young. 29's
6.
no age at all in snooker terms.
Yeah, he was European Junior Champion at 14, and he won the European Championship, the Amateur Championship at 15, so we knew about him, didn't we, before he turned pro. And he was just 16 when he did. He got to the Crucible at 17. The signs were there. He's never been a sort of consistent player, and he may never be. But what he's capable of is
30.
brilliance in bursts. Of course, we've seen that in our biggest tournament.
40.
Got to the UK final, won the Scottish Open the following week as well. And who's to say we're not going to see it again throughout this week? Chris Wakelin may be concerned that he's seeing a bit too much of it tonight.
One. Just didn't cannon enough of the red to hold for his intended one next to the black. Don't think that he's on it. If he can play a slight swerve to make the potting angle, he would still probably be on the black. That's extraordinary. Looking at that angle, I think that red is potable. But Luca was shaking his head as though it wasn't something he fancied taking on.
He seems to have used that rest a lot tonight, but he's used it effectively. So the break continues.
$29. $30.
That's 82% for Chris Wakelin. Needs to improve. There were signs that it would, but he's just beginning to struggle.
$35.
Well, Karen Wilson might have a rival with this rest, the way things are going. 8 out of 9 with it so far.
$36.
Again, playing with the extension, and he's short of pace. That's because when you put that push on extension, it's not part of your cue in some respects. It's not very solidly attached to it, so quite often it causes you to underhit some of the shots that you play.
$43.
Luca knew immediately, hadn't given that red enough pace. It was certainly on its way to the pocket, though. What a reprieve for Chris Wakelin, because this is a huge frame for him. 4-1. I wouldn't fancy him at all, but 3-2 is anybody's.
$1. 6. Seven.
Yes, it feels like a big visit for Wakelin, just trying to re-establish himself in this match. That's 69 breaking frame 2, but either side of that, he lost close ones. To some fabulous potting, it's got to be said, from Brecel.
14. $15. 22. 23. 29.
2 more reds and pinks would draw him level with Luca. Then the work really would begin, because there were 2 reds near that right side cushion, 1 near the left, that are slightly awkward.
30. 36.
'Is he considering trying to bring one of the reds into play from the red that he's about to take on? Not something I like to do.
$37. 40.
He's nicely on this red. Chris would like to run through about 6 or 8 inches just to leave himself level with the black, and then he can cannon the red that's nearest the cushion away to leave himself on the other one.
$43.
I don't know why he played that with stun. He's very straight on the black, so that's no good. He'll have to consider the pink now. I don't think he played the previous positional shot the right way for me.
49.
But is he still on this red? Or does the one closest to the cue ball pass the yellow? It does.
Yeah, it was heading straight for Brecel as well in that chair. to now take this frame. He's lost 2 close ones, another one, and it's such a body blow.
$56.
I'm surprised he's played for the pink. He's got a lot of work to do to get on the yellow here. Well, it's not bad, but what's the angle like? He still needs yellow, green and
62.
brown. Beg your pardon, just yellow and green.
$64.
So green is frame ball. It's been a very important visit. Brecel made the running in this frame. But Chris Wakelin has held himself together nicely here. Not potted that, so it's 1 snooker required.
Oh no.
67.
Look where they finished. He will be in a snooker very shortly, Chris Wakelin. Done with getting that cue ball tighter in behind the blue. It's still a snooker, but it could have been more difficult than this. That's a better one. Much more distance between the cue ball and the brown now. And there's plenty of room around it as well. Oh. This is by no means easy.
Yeah, the other thing is, you know, that none of these colours are on cushions. They'd be there for the clearance. It would be, well, not quite the final nail in the coffin, but it would be a massive blow if you were to miss this brown and lose the frame.
Just grazed it. But there's a good chance again for Luca this time to put the cue ball near the baulk cushion, get the cue ball in behind the black. It's a nice line of colours. Oh, what's he done? Will it run? Oh, it's too easy. Shouldn't be difficult off the baulk cushion.
Putting himself through a bit of agony, though. He'd have potted the brown after the green frame ball, yes, but that just means the other player needs snookers. He didn't actually win you the frame. Didn't actually get close to the pot either. And now he's being put through it, or Brecel's trying to put him through it. Well, he's not putting through it there. So Wakelin gets his chance to kill this off once and for all. He made a good 67. Still plenty of snooker in this match. There's a potential 6 more frames to play.
Chris Wakelin, 4.
Well, 28 the difference, 18 on. Brecel still playing on. But it's definitely now, of course, Chris Wakelin's frame.
Chris
When the
Wakelin,
chance
5.
came in the frame, the question was, what sort of shape was Wakelin in? Well, he made a good 67, and Brecel's lead is cut to a single frame at 3-2. So Chris Wakelin did what he really had to do there, which was take that frame out when the chance came. It might not have come. 3-2, and this match nicely in the balance.
I don't know if Chris can see the two reds next to the black, but there could be potentially a plant there to attempt. Oh, wow. Well, that is the attacking safety shot of all attacking safety shots, but he didn't intend to catch it that thickly, but how lucky has he been there? Well, Luca can, with a gentle swerve, pop this red near the right corner. The problem is the side spin that he needs to apply to the cue ball will take the cue ball towards the reds. And it may just scupper position on the pink potentially, but he's going to have a go at it. Has no choice. As long as he doesn't snook himself on all 6 colours, I think he'd be happy. Well, you saw the swerve take effect rather at the 11th hour there, but the fact that he potted the red so thickly has really helped Luca there.
Seven. Eight.
That pink is available, but Luca will need to be fairly precise with his cue ball here to make a sizable break. Those reds around the black spot are a problem. Luca would love to remove a few of them to eventually make the black available.
Referee just having to sort this pink out, getting it in line with the spots. It's a bit of a delicate operation for Deshislava Boshalova.
14.
think Luca will have to play this red to the right centre. Just needs to pot the red to be on the pink. Just awkward cueing, you can see. It's easy to miss these on the top draw when you're cueing over balls like this. And you have a long bridge.
Shades of John Higgins there in that final with Ronnie. That was that pocket, wasn't it, where in the decider the red just thought twice before dropping.
Oh yes, do you remember that? Goodness me, Ronnie, I beg your pardon, John Higgins was on his way back to the chair. He didn't think it was going to reach, and it did.
Last ever frame at the old Wembley Conference Centre. I think if you'd have said then we'd find a venue that would rival, maybe even in some minds
21.
beat the Conference Centre, you'd think that was very unlikely, but Alexandra Palace is firmly established now as the home of the Masters.
22.
I mean, apart from anything else, just the building has so much character, doesn't it? So much history.
27. 28.
Yeah, I think it was built in the mid-19th century, wasn't it?
Thirty-three. Thirty-four.
Just a little short here. Plenty of reds to play for, though.
Oh, just look where that cue ball's finished. Amazing. It's not on anything. Well, as a player, you don't mind if that happens if you win the frame, but with that safety shot that Luca's just played, winning this frame now is in jeopardy. It's a terrible safety shot from somebody with Luca's skill and experience. Chris will be disappointed. Potted the red too thick and cue ball hasn't run anywhere. Played for the pink into the right corner there.
Just working one.
Well, it wasn't the worst safety shot. It wasn't easy to execute, but he had to rely on a bit of good fortune. not to leave a pot on, but he has.
One.
Yeah, his long game has been good tonight. 78%. It's very high. He takes plenty on. So back in, having lost his way initially.
5. Six. Eight. Nine.
Didn't need to risk such a cannon, but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and suggest that he attempted that. I'm sure it's at the Masters a few years ago, Dave, when Luca came into the auditorium with about 2 or 3 cues. Is that right?
14.
Yeah, he came down with 2, which wasn't a great sign for the evening ahead. I think the thing with Luca, there's more successful players in this tournament, but there's few more watchable. You know, there's something about him as a character. You're not quite sure what's going to happen. You know he's capable of playing great stuff. So you're always kind of on the edge of your seat.
20.
1 snooker needed here, like the red in. And it's looking like 4-2.
23.
There's a calmness about him this evening. Yes, he's attacked, but that's how he plays. But he's not running around the table. You know, 23 seconds a shot. It's not slow, but he's in a considered mood, but also looking maybe more confident than we've seen him all season.
I just think this health and fitness regime, though, that Luca is on as well, just gives you that feel-good factor, doesn't it? Gives you that self-esteem that sometimes you can lack.
37.
Yeah, you know, he enjoyed himself after winning the World Championship, and why wouldn't you? But maybe he enjoyed himself a little bit too much, and he has been putting the work in on the table, off the table. He's still a young man. He turns 30 in March. Plenty more, of course, he can achieve in this sport.
$52. 54. 57.
2 visits then from Brecel, and in the end he dominated frame 6, and once again he's 2 in front, leading Chris Wakelin here at Alexandra Palace this evening, 4-2.
Chris Wakelin to break.
Chris Wakelin on debut won that good 5th frame, didn't he, with the 67 break, but can he stay in touch here? Of course, the only other debutant this year, Sijawi, was beaten last night 6-2 by Mark Allen. It's not the best start either to this frame.
Thought for a moment that red would go in the centre pocket from the white, but amazing, isn't it? This is what I love about snooker. You can play a poor shot, and in the end, you're actually glad that you did, because Chris Wakelin coming to the table now with a great opportunity in a frame that he really does need to win now. 5-2. Can't see him recovering that sort of a deficit. 4-3, of course. Well, match back on. Oh, that deserves applause. That's perfection. He can drop this in, cannon the red next to the black and be on the black.
7.
Started playing snooker at the age of 8, so that was around the turn of the millennium when, of course, the late Paul Hunter was winning this tournament. He won it 3 times in 4 years. All very exciting finals. The trophy's named after him. It's worth saying at that time, snooker, sort of the administration of snooker wasn't going so well, and the likes of Paul and Ronnie and John Higgins, Mark Williams, those guys really kept it in the public mind with the finals and the performances they put in. But Paul is certainly especially remembered here every year, quite rightly.
My favourite ever final, I think, was the Paul Hunter Ronnie O'Sullivan final, when they both had long hair, both wearing Alice bands, and it went the distance, and what a final it was.
Yeah, and that's the legacy that someone like Chris Wakelin is now part of through playing at the tournament. But obviously he wants to progress as far as he can now. He's got a taste of this wonderful atmosphere. Would love to be back on Friday night to take on the world champion.
Oh, he doesn't have the right angle on this red to play for the black. Just wondering if he pots the pink, if it's spots available, or if the pink will be tied up as a result of it being potted here.
Point 9. $30.
I wonder if Chris will screw back a few inches for the blue here to go into the pack of reds. Is he straight enough on the red to play it? But saying that, there's a line of 3 reds in the middle of that bunch there, and one could just deflect off the pink and go into the corner pocket. So maybe it's beneficial that he's playing for the black here.
34.
Oh, didn't get the stun on the cue ball. It ran through too far. Well, the pot's on, but there's no way he can play for a colour. So I think he should be just playing a good safety now. Oh, what a mistake he's made there. This red cuts in, and Luca can get through to it.
Luca, Brecel, 1.
Chris Wakelin dodged a bullet there. That could have been very costly, that mistake that he made.
One.
Well, it's a bit like the last frame in reverse, really. Brecel got in, built a lead, and then was immediately back in. Wakelin this time coming back to the table in front.
5. Six.
I could have played a better positional shot from the brown. He left himself a long way away from that red, and because he potted it on the thin side, he's much closer to this black than he wanted to be, and this is definitely missable.
Yeah, just lost control here a little bit. It's a bit of a high wire act to continue. The red does still pot this one, right of the 3.
It's really tight. If he screws off the 2 reds, just need to be careful not to screw into the centre pocket.
It's close, Dom. It's close. Good call.
Foul. Chris Wakelin. 13. Luca, Brecel, 4.
Oh, he's left a lot on here for Luca if he can just pot 1 good red.
Hand on table, you fancied him because his long potting has been very good tonight. So let's see if he can produce a great steal. It would really hurt Wakelin, clearly, particularly at this stage of the night.
Yeah, and if you're Chris Wakelin, you sat in your chair and you're impressed that Luca took on that red and not the one that's much nearer the left corner, which was something you probably never have missed.
9. 16. $17.
Yellow, the
24.
obvious problem ball.
$25.
Pink obviously is another, but that's right at the end of the frame. Luca won't be thinking about that just yet. Well, there wouldn't be anything wrong in just dropping this red in to leave yourself low on the black. You could stun up directly towards the yellow. That's typical Luca Brecel. He didn't land on the black the way he thought he would. Decided to come twice across the table. He knew that blue potentially was in his way. Judged it beautifully, but I think he may have to play for the green in the centre here. He could screw back for it into the yellow pocket. It's just personal choice, really.
So he's already won 2 tight frames tonight. The opener, the third frame. Never in, was it? Never in.
Luca Brecel, 42.
Yes, in snooker terms, that's called a twitcher. Just a nervous one there. It's a mental error more than anything else. Now, can Chris cut this green in, or is it too thin? Both players recognise the importance of this frame. 5-2 or 4-3 is a massive difference psychologically.
Yes, I mean, that could have been easier, but equally, Brecel could have potted it. Previous shot.
That's not a good shot from Luca Brecel. There's a gap through to it, but Chris Wakelin doesn't want to bring the pink into play here. Oh, well played. It's an easy escape. Oh, well, I thought the green was just going to feather edge the pink. It's a little more difficult, having gone past it.
Nicely done. I think everyone in the room is well aware of the importance of this exchange now. Not least, of course, the 2 players themselves.
This is where shot selection is very important. If Chris were to make contact with this green in just the right way, there's a slight chance a cue ball could go in behind the pink. I'm just worried, though, that the green could go close to that right centre if he plays that shot. Quick of the head from Luca. He could play the green into the black to use it as a stopper for the cue ball. Cue ball shouldn't go anywhere near the pink if he plays it well. And if he does play it well, he could easily get the snooker in behind the brown. Looks as though he's going to play a different shot, though. It's okay, it's safe. Wow, the green is potable into the corner pocket, but personally, I think Luca's got to roll up behind the blue here. The green would finish somewhere near the pink. He'd be in trouble, Chris Wakelin.
Foul. And a miss. Luca Brecel, 4, free ball.
In order to cue to the side of the blue and not be hampered, he's had to alter the angle significantly, play it with a lot of right-hand side. And he's put too much on it.
Yeah, Luca.
That time the cue ball slid off the cushion because he altered the angle
A miss. Luca Brecel, 4.
to a more severe one, and the cue ball just didn't bite at all with the side spin. This is the thing when you play with these super fine cloths, and the way these cushions play can make it look rather foolish sometimes.
So Brecel's now in front. Wakelin will need the pink himself.
Luca.
Well, that's exactly what Chris was hoping might happen.
Well, this is like a match within a match. Over 7 minutes on this green, 1 point in it, 2 frames in it, crucially. That's why it's so important at this stage as to who wins it. Easy game, this.
Oh, the run of the ball both of these players have just had. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Well, I'll tell you, if Chris is snookered here, he's got a real problem. What a frame. It'll be the longest of the match so far when it concludes.
Yeah, and clearly the most important, particularly for Wakelin. You know, if he loses this, then he's at the point of no return, 5-2 down.
Luca wants to jab this green, get in behind the pink, but can he? No. Decelerated. Well, at least no push shot was committed, and then it's pretty safe.
played in a good spirit, and the audience absorbed by this standoff as well.
Well, Chris could play the green 4-ball, screw back behind the pink. He could play the green near this top cushion and get the snooker, but if you make a mess of it, you could leave it on.
For all the centuries we see in big breaks, these frames are fascinating. Look at that, 10 minutes since the last pot.
Yes, tap on the table from Luca Brecel. That's well played.
Oh,
Is this a
nice.
free ball?
Chris Wakelin 4.
Is it a free ball? I think it is. It is.
Free ball.
So, a chance to play the brown. There's his free ball choice, which will count for 3 points. It basically
Brown ball.
becomes an extra green.
Yeah, and then he's back to not needing the pink again. He needs green, brown and blue to win
3.
a nerve-shredding frame here.
Oh, he can't get on the brown, though, with the angle he has on the green. Too close to the side cushion to screw back.
Six.
Superb. Still needs the blue. But bearing in mind the situation, had he missed this brown, what a pot that is from Wakelin. Blue, and it should be 4-3. And in it goes. And the cue ball just stays out. What a frame. What a frame of snooker.
Chris Wakelin 15.
So, one snooker required.
Well, that's not the best shot from Chris. He really ought to have got that pink right in the jaws of the pocket. There is room behind the black for the cue ball. And Luca is a very creative player. Oh, he's at full stretch. Couldn't reach it.
not to
Chris
be.
Wakelin 6.
Well, it was some frame to win for Wakelin. It was a great brown he potted. And suddenly there's only one in it again. It's 4-3. It's a bit of a thriller.
Well, this was a frame full of intrigue. Luca had the chance to win it with green, brown and blue, but overcut the green. A little bit of pressure may have taken hold there. But Chris, having to queue over the brown, couldn't quite catch that green thin enough. But was fortunate he hadn't left it on. And after this, we saw some great safety. Chris Wakelin snookers Luca Brecel there. And this was a mistake from Luca in missing the green. He left a free ball.
No miss. Chris Wakelin 4.
As you can see, couldn't see both sides of the green, but this was a wonderful shot. Chris Wakelin, needing brown and blue, decided to take on the tough brown and actually played to leave himself a chance on the blue, and he knocked it in. A very interesting frame there, the longest of the match, 27.5 minutes, but Chris Wakelin wins it, and it's just one frame behind, 4-3.
So Chris Wakelin just wiping his brow after that dramatic 7th frame that he clinched to trail 4-3. Tomorrow afternoon we start the quarter-finals. The first match, Neil Robertson returns to take on Sean Murphy. Those two go way back. They turned pro at the same time, actually, back in 1998 as teenagers. At night, it's on your marks, Allen and Selby in the second quarter-final. If you're a spectator now, you can't go wrong, can you? Whatever session you got tickets for, you're going to see big hitters clashing, and whoever ends the week as champion will have earned the £350,000 first prize for sure. But as for this match, well, that exchange has kept Wakelin in the contest, but of course he is still trailing. But he has now won a close frame, and I think the brown was a good sign. You know, as Dom said at the time, he couldn't get nicely on it. You need bottle in that situation, and he certainly demonstrated that.
Yeah, because he could have played the brown in such a way as to get the cue ball near this top cushion and sort of either play a safety on the blue or give himself a chance of a long blue, but he sort of played half and half. He left the cue ball sort of level with the pink spot to give himself a much better chance at the blue. But it was awkward cueing actually, and it was a very good cut back into the centre pocket. This was the brown. Now, a lot of players might consider taking that on as a shot to nothing, get the cue ball near the black spot and play a good safety, knowing you just need the blue. But no, Chris Wakelin played it to give himself a better chance of potting the blue, which was frame ball, and that was such a big frame for Chris Wakelin. 5-2, nearly out the match, and probably would have had to rely on some help from Luca Brecel, who's finally come back into the auditorium. I'm sure he'll receive a round of applause when he does so.
Yeah,
Nicely poised, isn't it, Dave?
Well, it is. The audience loving it. As I say, it's not all about big breaks this game. It's about the battles within battles, which we certainly saw in that last frame.
Thank you. Frame 8. Luca Brecel to break.
Brecel leads Wakelin 4-3 after the drama of frame 7. What does frame 8 have in store? Possible 4 remain for the last place in the quarterfinals here at the Masters this year.
Keep quiet, please.
A couple of fans getting overexcited.
Well, that's a tremendous putt from Luca, it really is. He must have been disappointed to have lost that last frame, but he's played that with backspin. Swerved the cue ball a little off the cushion. You saw it arc. He had so much backspin on it. It's a great shot. But he'd love to get onto that red just above the black to free the black spot up.
Three. Four.
Played that nicely, but if he does decide to cannon that red... Oh, he can't. He's too straight on the black. Now, where's the black spot in relation to the red, I wonder? Now, Luca must feel that the black is going to tie up that red. And I think he's right.
Eleven. Twelve.
Don't think Luca intended to leave this much angle on the red. I think he wanted to leave himself straight on it to play for the black in such a way as to nudge that red away.
Eight. 90.
Well, Luca has to go into the reds here because there aren't any available. But wasn't high enough on the blue to generate any power.
Point. Brecel 24.
What about this one? He's opened everything up. He's got a great cue ball.
Just lost control of the shot a little, Luca, there. He didn't catch the red fully enough. Could have got a much better cue ball with a fuller contact. But he certainly hasn't left a straightforward pot for Chris Wakelin, but I'm pretty certain he'll take something on. Where's his cue ball going? It's found the pocket. So
Luca,
with
Brecel,
ball in
4.
hand in the D, a couple of much more potable reds that could tempt Luca now.
One.
Well, that's not misfortune. That's not a good shot from
Touching
Luca.
ball.
He just completely picked the wrong line for the cue ball there, but it is a touching ball, which gives him some sort of an advantage here.
Brecel, 6.
Very disappointing visit, that. When the Reds were and already with a useful lead in the frame, it was a definite chance for 5-3.
Oh, that's very unlucky for Chris. The red came across, double kiss the other one, remained much closer to the pocket. But in potting it, Luca will be cannoning another red, it would appear, I beg your pardon. Oh, he's missed it. Again, Chris makes a mistake, but somehow he's benefited from it.
I think it's a bit of a carryover from the last frame where things got very tense, and it seems likely to remain that way the deeper we go into the match now.
It's very straight, this red, though. To get onto a colour from it is a big ask. He's turning it down. There's obviously not another red that he could consider. Much too thin with that safety from Luca. Was trying to get him behind green and black and set himself there, and he's left this red on. Both players just struggling to get position on a colour here.
Double.
Another big shot coming up. Well, good signs for Wakelin supporters. He weathered that storm in the last frame.
6.
And now he has got himself in this one. something he
7.
dreamed about, of course, for years, playing in the Masters. He looked at a distant prospect just a couple of years ago, but he's fully earned his place in the top 16.
Wow, what a bounce off the cushion. I mean, he's played that with check side and you could see it really grab. It came off that cushion there. Still okay.
Thirteen. $18. $19.
Just needs to be a little careful with this pink. It's far from straightforward. 15 points behind still.
$25. $26. $32. $33.
So there's pink to take the lead in the frame.
$39.
Does need all remaining reds though.
$40. $46. $47.
So down to the two awkward reds. That's the problem with the pink.
Chris Wakelin,
Just
47.
a touch on the straight side. Had to play it with a bit more pace and accuracy was required. Just found wanting there.
Another close frame then. He leads by 13, 2 reds on.
$1.
Too pacey. Just the 5 points separating the
6.
players. Now 7 points, I beg your pardon, but it's anybody's frame now. Again, it's just going to come down to the safety. Every chance to put your opponent in trouble with so many colours up in bulk there.
Brecel 6.
So very much like the last frame, which came down to a battle on the green. Brecel could easily have been 5-2 up, but his concern here is that in a few minutes it'll be 4 each.
Superb effort from Chris Wakelin. Just too much pace. He was always concerned, though, that that red could go a little close to that corner pocket. Oh, this looks good if the red just keeps running a little. And it has. And Chris has got to be careful here if he comes off the bulk cushion that the red doesn't cannon into the yellow. If he can avoid that, he could play a decent shot of his own. Confident is Luca feeling? Is he going to take this on? Big shot if he does. That possibly, I know the brown was special in the first frame, but that possibly with the pressure involved, I think could be the best shot of the match. He's very unlucky though where the cue ball's finished. Well, this is certainly worth another look. Right into the heart of the pocket. Incredible though where that cue ball's finished. I mean, I don't think Luca can play for the yellow if he takes a colour on, so I think he's just going to leave a snooker.
Brecel 1.
That's unlucky for Chris Wakelin. The good thing is, though, Luca has the wrong angle on the yellow now. If he can just about dig into the cue ball to screw back off the side cushion, he could still get onto the green. But how close is that cue ball to the side cushion?
Stood still there, didn't it? Nearly fluked it. He has fluked a snooker. Good grief. Fingernails being bitten all around the alley-pally. Didn't threaten the pot. Nearly fluked it. would have assumed he'd have left it, but he has got cover. Well, Chris has to remind himself this is what he wanted, to be at the Masters, involved in a thrilling contest.
He needs to do something with this yellow, because if he just drops it to the side cushion, it'd be too easy for Luca to snooker him again. Well, he's certainly left a chance here. Oh, no, he hasn't. Luca can't see enough of it. Luca could try and get the cue ball in behind green and black, but he just needs to be careful the yellow doesn't come off the bulk cushion and cannon into the cue ball.
Brecel was very interested in that, wasn't he? He was right down the line.
And Luca can try and cut this in. Luca loves cutbacks. He's very good at thin cuts. But not on that occasion, but I like this cue ball. Oh, it's a snooker. Oh, well, that makes a difference. Is the green now tied up?
It's that time of night where things start to happen. In this case, he has fluked the yellow. So where we had a battle on the green in the last frame, here we are again.
First Wakelin, 2.
Not quite a snooker. I wonder if Luca can clip the green across to the side cushion near the bulk line, because there's a nice line of colours, the blue and the pink, to try and get a snooker. He's chosen to try and get him behind the brown. Well, I think more luck than judgment there. Because look where he's left the cue ball, in the middle of the table.
Oh, nice. Luca, Brecel, 4.
Chris will have to trust her luck here. He won't really have any idea where the green will go if he does contact it. Surprised it's not just coming off the side cushion and rolling up to the green. It's not as though there's another colour nearby that Luca could easily snooker in behind. Good effort from Luca, wasn't far away. I just wonder if Chris Wakelin can attempt a cross double here into the right corner.
Well, the last frame was just about 28 minutes. This is now the longest of the match, but the audience don't care about that. They're thoroughly engrossed.
Nearly another fluke. Not a snooker though. Can Luca cut that green in? He loves having to go at very thin cuts.
He looked good. It stays out. And he's got cover. It's a mad old game, really, isn't it? But here we all are, loving every minute of it.
I see a lot of players in a situation like this try and hope for a bit of luck and try and get distance between the balls, but you're snookered, and it's key that you get things safe. Not thin enough on the green, but Luca's so close to the side cushion. He can pop the green into the centre pocket, but we'll have to just trust that the angle's good to get onto the brown. It won't be far off. Oh dear, well, pressure really telling on both of these players. It's such a huge event here at the Masters, such a fantastic atmosphere as well. It does create its own pressures.
Check of the scores, 7 in front. He needs brown and blue. And we're level. We had the perfect view of that. Never looked in, did it? It was nicely on the blue, but brown is not down. Remember the great brown he potted in the last frame from distance.
very difficult shot to play, that one. He's overhit it. Sure, Luca will take this brown on. He can get onto the blue from it. Well, that's a great pot from Luca. What sort of a bounce will he have here? You can't see Luca move. Well, he's not really on the blue. He's just 3 points behind. Both players require blue and pink.
But just when you think you've seen the shot of the night, he pulls out another one and another one. That was seriously cool. So, he needs the pink for a 5-3 lead. Fantastic. What bravery from Luca Brecel. He's potted so many crunch balls tonight. And he's won the frame. I'm not sure what the what's going on. He's 8 in front on the black. He's won the frame. He leads 5-3, and after a dramatic frame there, he's 1 away from the quarterfinals. So it's 5-3 to Luca Brecel. We've had some dramatic frames this evening, and we have a potential for 3 more. Brecel obviously hoping it's just 1 more to reach the quarterfinals and complete our last 8 lineup. Yeah, shot of the championship is the Luca Brecel shot of the championship this year. Another terrific long pot. 79% on long potting, and he's taken on 28 from distance. That's a seriously high ratio of success.
That's an amazing percentage, because we all know this type of long pots that Luca's likely to take on and has. That's worked out well for him. You know, this is what Judd Trump does as well, you know. You break off, you leave a chance at a pot. He knocks it in, and 3 shots later there are reds all over the place, and he's in with a chance to win frame and match. And it must be borne in mind, all the other top players will be taking note of this performance from Luca Brecel. He has made mistakes at important times, but he's also been brilliant as well under pressure. And he's looked very, very dangerous. This is the best I've seen him for quite a while.
Definitely, yeah. He's been focused throughout. He's gone for his shots. He's been calm as well on the crunch shots, and clearly really up for it tonight. That red wrestled its way into the pocket.
$24.
Just queuing over another ball there, just Cause Luca to strike down and probably impart a touch aside on the cue ball, which has thrown it off course. That's what pressure does.
1.
It's kind of been the pattern of the evening, hasn't it? Someone's been getting in, they've made 20 or 30, they've broken down. We've seen the other player get in, and quite a few frames have ended up, as we saw in the last year, just a right old scrap on the colours.
8. Nine.
Well, chance go into the reds here. I'm sure Chris wouldn't screw into them, he'd just stun into them. Just catch the red that's directly to the above the black. I'm
60.
sure Luca would have gone straight into the reds there. Well, there must be a plant. There it is.
22.
Maybe that's why Chris didn't go into them. Well, the pink will be tied up now.
$29. $30.
That's a bit of a mistake for Chris. I don't think he can generate enough power now to go directly into the reds. Maybe he will off 2 cushions.
$35. Persuasion, 35.
That was pushing the boat out, it really was. Given the position of the reds, he must have known that if Luca could pot something, it could be match over. This had to find its target, and it was a very good effort, but it had to go in.
Oh.
Which one did you touch? The red one? Well, Luca
Wow,
Brecel
what a thing
4.
to happen.
Dave, I didn't see a foul.
You're not sure?
I don't think
Okay,
this
I'll
was a foul.
check for you.
Oh, it
Yeah,
was.
Yeah. He obviously felt it, didn't he?
Not sure.
They can look at the replay, but it was a clear foul. And if that's his last shot of the tournament, that is a nightmare for Chris Wakelin. It wasn't even a shot, actually.
Oh, it's amazing. I saw what happened, but I honestly didn't think he'd fouled the red, but he did. Won by the pink. Watch this. There it goes.
But it's a clear foul. I don't understand why it's taking this long to establish that. We've all seen
Yeah,
it.
yeah, it is. It is full. Yeah. Yeah, it is that red, yeah. It was the red, yeah. It is foul. Sorry, would you close this?
Yeah, Chris wouldn't have known whether the cue hit the bed of the table or a ball there. I didn't see it move until we saw the replay.
Yeah, I mean, he called it immediately. And then he maybe wasn't so sure, but, you know, if you've got the video footage, then use it. That's what they did. Another twist. I don't think anyone saw that coming, though. So, Brecel has the same shot here. Got all the long stuff out. As I say, if Wakelin doesn't come back to the table now, that's a horrible way to go out of the Masters, particularly on your debut.
Oh, absolutely. He'll be suffering there because he's just seen the shot that Chris Wakelin has played. He could have played it himself, and it could have been a frame when it could easily have been 5-4.
Yeah, and it certainly would have felt closer than 6-3 if that's the end result. I mean, we've had so many close frames, so much drama. There may yet be more, and that's what Wakelin has to hold on to.
9. $16. 17. $24.
Oh, he has a good angle here, Luca, to stun up for the blue. He could still screw back for the black, but those three reds just below the pink, they're all in one another's way, and they're not easy to get onto.
$25.
Oh, that's pretty good, really. If Luca can cannon the red furthest left, he should be in A1 position.
Yeah. 25 in front. Golden chance now to get this one. And what a sickener for that man who's battled so hard tonight.
$33.
He's going to need one more red after this black. with a colour to send him into the quarterfinals of
40.
the Masters for only the second time. But remember his crucible record
41.
before he won that World Championship. He'd never won a match in Sheffield. He got on a run 2 years ago to the title. We've been waiting for Luca Brecel to really fire this season. Could it be at Alexandra Palace this week? Well, it looks like he'll be here for the quarterfinals to play the man who superseded him as world champion.
46.
This is the ball really now. If this goes in, it's over. And wouldn't you know, it's with the rest, the equipment that Chris Wakelin fouled with.
47.
So the 8 quarter-finalists, they've all won Triple Crown tournaments. It's a fabulous lineup. They've won 31 between them, the 8 players. Very, very hard to pick a winner of this tournament.
55.
But the other 7 players, I think, will observe tonight that Luca Brecel is looking confident. He's potted some great balls.
58.
And maybe looking the best he has done since he won that World Championship 2 years ago.
62. 67.
Luca Brecel completes the lineup for the quarterfinals of the Masters. It was a bit of a sickener the way it ended for Chris Wakelin with that foul. But a thoroughly entertaining match, some close frames, some great excitement. And it is the Belgian bullet, Luca Brecel, who will play Karen Wilson. He's the winner, 6-3.
Luca, congratulations.